everyone, welcome to my channel Victoria's Secret. Today is me with my bubble tea with strawberry pearls, and we're talking about rabbit hair. And I won't be showing any images of my rabbits today, and we'll just be spending time talking about 5 aspects of rabbit hair. The first topic will be how to feed your rabbit hay. Well, you can buy hay in bulk in boxes, or you can buy good quality or lesser expensive and high quality hay, and your rabbits will want to eat fresh hay that is green in color. You wouldn't want to feed them hay that is brown or yellowish, because this hay would have lost its nutrients for the rabbits. And if you feed the same kind of hay every day to your rabbits, they may get tired of the hay that you're feeding. So how do we go about making sure that they obtain all the nutrients that they can every day from their staple diet, which is hay, feeding them hay? The most common hay that we feed rabbit is Timothy hay. When I first got my rabbits, I feed my rabbits Timothy hay every day. And to cut costs, I bought it in a big 10 kg box in a bulk. And this can last for a few months for my rabbits. So they got tired of eating Timothy hay, and what I did was that I thought that I could provide them with a bigger variety of hay to choose from. And I actually went to buy oxbow hay for them. I chose 2 other types of hay besides Timothy hay: alfalfa hay and orchard grass hay. What happened was that I have 1 pack of momi hay, which is the hay I bought in bulk, and I put it in their hay litter trays. Every morning when I change their litter tray, I give them fresh hay to eat every morning. And I bought several other packs, 2 packs each of the alfalfa hay and the orchard grass hay, and I sprinkle a bit of both on top of the Timothy hay. Orchard grass hay is for them to aid the digestion, so that they can actually make the hay pass through their bodies well, and it'll come out as poo. And alfalfa hay is actually hay is supposed to feed young rabbits, and if your rabbit is older, you can still feed them alfalfa hay, but just cut it down and make sure that it's not too much, because it's high in protein, which will actually make them put on weight. But if they're active and they exercise every day, you can feed them alfalfa hay as well. So by adding the orchard grass hay and the alfalfa hay into their litter trays every day, mixed with the Timothy hay, they slowly regained their appetite and started eating all the hay in the litter tray. And what I do is that I will usually clean out their cage every morning, and I will make sure that they'll finish their hay, especially my 2 rabbits, Rex and Patch. I'll make sure that they finish their hay with a little bit left or none left, with their poo at the side. And Chico is a smaller rabbit. I'll give him enough hay to eat as well, but he usually will not finish all the hay because he's a smaller appetite. And then when they give them enough hay to eat for one day, when they finish, but actually, contrary to popular belief, you don't have to make sure that your rabbit eats 24/7. We used to think that hay is very important for them and they have to eat all along. That's not true. Sometimes if you give them a break to rest for exercise, for them to rest from munching all this hay, it's good for them as well. And then they'll stimulate an appetite, a healthy appetite to eat hay once again when you clean the litter tray. The next topic that I'm talking about is how to go about feeding your rabbit. How to set up the area to feed your rabbit, whether you should use a hay rack or a DIY hay rack, any kind of a hay rack. Just put the hay and food in the litter tray for them to poop and eat at the same time. Well, actually, when I first got rabbits, I experimented with different types of ways of feeding them. I bought a hay rack from IKEA, one of those paper trays, and I stuffed it with hay, and they can pluck out the hay from the hay rack, the paper tray, to eat. But actually that didn't go so well with my rabbits. They were not very fond of going about plucking the hay from a hay rack that's placed in front of them. So what I did was that I just put the hay in a litter tray. I cover it with bedding, and the hay is at one corner, so they'll eat their hay and they'll poop at the same time. And this has worked very well for my rabbits. But I realized one thing that the rabbits like to do is that my rabbits, they they want to stay in my room, and actually my 3 rabbits stay in my room, and they like me talking to them and treating them as their friend, someone whom I can actually interact with and speak with them in English, and they respond giving me their body language and expressions, and we communicate with one another. And I realized that actually most animals also like us to treat them as their friend, not as an animal that is something that's from the wild and they live in nature. But once you bring them to the home, they want to be treated as a part of a family. So one day I took their 3 little trays while I was cleaning, I placed them in front of me, and I let them eat their fresh hay that I just put in front of me, and we really enjoyed the experience. I don't do it every day, but you can try to do it. They'll enjoy sitting in front of you and just watching them eat together. What I do to their pellets also, I make sure that when I clean their little tray, I'll finish everything and I'll give them pellets to eat at the same time so that everybody can sit together and eat together, like over a dining table at home, but that's in my room. So I watch them looking at one another, eating their hay, they enjoy it a lot. So actually what I recommend the most is to set up the area such that they can be comfortable and they can eat and interact with one another, and they have preferences as well. Different rabbits have different preferences, but I think most rabbits, they prefer to eat their hay from the little tray and you just munch on and they can poop there at the same time. Well, actually, you have hay racks and hay boxes where you can use, and that was what was recommended by rabbit owners from many years ago, and now people still do that. And I think it's okay also, it's fine. If your rabbit likes to pluck it out of the hay rack, it's fine as well, and it's also cleaner also, because once your rabbit has hay on the little tray, there's poop as well. But my rabbits don't really mind, and that's the way that I like to feed hay to my rabbits. Okay, the third topic that we're talking about today is autism in rabbits. I'm saying so because I've experienced taking care of a rabbit that is a little bit autistic, and that's Patch. When I first brought her home, she was actually very reserved, and she, compared to my other 2 rabbits, she refused to interact with me so willingly, and she was very reserved and just tried to keep to herself, and she used to display signs of being autistic as well, because she likes to go round in circles, round and round and round, and she likes to sometimes bite me, and these are all signs of rabbits, my rabbit Patch being not a normal rabbit with some illness, and I figured it's autism. So what I did was that I actually bought a foam mat from Amazon. It's a 1 meter by 1 meter foam mat which fits bigger than her whole cage area, and I put her on the foam mat. And what I do is, over a period of time, that I actually clean her foam mat every day, and I got rid of her autism using 2 steps. One is to get away the clutter from her cage, and the second step is to take away the clutter from her mind. So I explain one step at a time. To get away the clutter from her cage, when time is right, and probably every few days, the foam mat will be dirty underneath, because hay and poo would drop out of it and get underneath. But you must make sure that if you use a foam mat, you make sure it's clean, because make sure that there's no water and dampness underneath, or else the area is not very clean and they might develop an illness. So I'll clean the whole place. I'll take the whole foam mat out and dust it, and I'll sweep under the cage, and then put the clean foam mat after I cleaned it as well under the cage. And this actually creates an effect like you cleaning out your room and cleaning all the mess in your room and making sure it's clean. It gets rid of any clutter that is in their cage and clears their mind. And the next step I did for Patch, this is actually over a period of a few months to a few years. I got rid of her autism when she was 2 years old, and now she's 3 years old. So I actually told my rabbits that I'm getting another rabbit. I told them, say, okay, there's space in my room and I'd like to get another rabbit. And so let's set up the new cage, and I'm very excited. But my rabbits are not excited about me getting another rabbit, because they don't want some other rabbit to take their place in my house, because I got 3 of them and they have to share the room with me, and they have to run around together, and the 3 of them are really bonded together and they're friends really, so they're not very fond of that. And I pretended that I was getting another rabbit, so I set up a fourth cage, and then I put the little tray and the bowls all there. Then one day I came home and then I told them that, okay, I decided that the three of you are all that I want, and I will not be getting another rabbit. And you can have the extra space in my room for running around and playing, and I'm going to keep all this. And after I said that, right, the three of them, I can tell that their mind just cleared, especially Pets, and she was like very excited that she gets extra space to run around. And after that incident, she stopped biting me. She stopped going round and round in circles, and she stopped displaying any signs of any ill behavior. And she's always been very friendly, a very loving rabbit ever since. So that is how I got rid of the autism in Patch. Okay, the third and fourth aspect of rabbit care I'm talking about is namely how to stop violence in rabbits, violence to their owners, and how to bond with the rabbit, the owner and the rabbit itself. And the last point I'm talking about is about cage cleaning. I have videos on how I clean my rabbit cages, but I'm talking about specifically what time we're supposed to clean our cage every day. So, firstly, about bonding. How do we actually cure an aggressive rabbit who shows violence to you and might want to bite you? Actually, when I first got my rabbits, I was bitten once by Rex before, right on my second finger on my left hand. I tried to stop Chiku and Rex from fighting around on my bed, and I didn't use any glove or any protective material, and then I just put my hand there to stop them. It was a big mistake because Rex just bit my hand and blood gushed out, but there's only one bite from my rabbits in my entire 6 years of taking care of them, and that was when Rex bit me. And they are very friendly and they are very tame as already. But how do you go about taming a rabbit? So actually it's very simple. You have to talk to them every day, and there's a one-step process where you just put a cage and you sit in your cage every single day, morning, afternoon, or night. You just sit in there and let them run around and get used to you. And you won't want to go and approach your rabbits because actually rabbits are prey animals and they don't really like people approaching them and carrying them. You just sit in there and let your rabbit run around. You can feed them treats, you can give them water and a bit of food in the cage, and you wait for them to approach you. So it's basically you just sit in your cage for as long as you want, very often, best to be done every day, and you wait for your rabbits to approach you. And when they show affection to you by themselves, that is how you tame them, that's how you bond with them. And I seldom go up to my rabbits and actually carry them. What I do is that it's only when sometimes when I feel that I need to, when I feel this I feel that I love to just cuddle with them when I'm feeling sad. Sometimes I feel down and I just want them to comfort me, or I want to comfort them. Then I'll carry them and then I just hold them for a while and I just stroke them most of the time only. Okay, the last topic about rabbit care I'm talking about is when should we actually go about cleaning our rabbit cages? Some of us who own rabbits, we are students, some of us are working professionals, some of us are homemakers, and we all have different schedules. And so what's the time that we're supposed to actually clean our rabbits? And I really recommend you clean your rabbit cage every single day. It's how you can show them that you actually care for them. And rabbits are fastidious groomers and they like the place to be clean. My rabbits, if I don't clean out their fleas under their cage every single day, they will feel a bit pissed off. I can tell they don't really like the place to be dirty, although they like to dirty the place, but they want us to clean their place for them. And my recommendation is that you actually clean it every single morning. Like how actually waking up in the morning and taking a bath is good for you, it's good for your entire day. Even if you are busy, I suggest you change your schedule and wake up earlier to clean your rabbit cage, because once the place is clean and they can start a whole new day afresh, and they can start doing the activities and eating their hay, and then you can let them out for playtime and they can go back to the cage, a clean cage. So what happens is that if you clean your rabbit cage at night when you come home, it's quite dangerous. What if something happened to you and say you have something to have settled, or you can't come home in time to clean your rabbit cage? Maybe you have to work later, you have to even work over the next day, and you can't clean your rabbit cage if something happens. And if you rely on yourself cleaning your rabbit cage every time you come home, what has happened your rabbit when you don't clean their cage and they're left alone all alone at home. They need you to be at home with them. They need you to stay in your room and they need you to spend your time with them when you come home. That's how you take care of rabbits. And if you clean them at night and when everybody is sleeping and you come home late, that's the main reason. You don't want any accidents to happen. You don't want anything to go wrong. You want to make sure they do it every single day. Even if sometimes you get help from someone else, you make sure that their cage is clean. And actually, doing this cleaning in the middle of the night is not a very good thing as well. It's not a very auspicious thing, as like sometimes everybody is resting already and it might actually make them quite uncomfortable and sick. Yeah, so actually these are all the 5 topics that I'm talking about rabbits today. I hope that you can go and think about how to care for your rabbits. And I do have pictures and images of my rabbits and I do talk about all these things on my social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram as well. You can check out my Facebook Instagram page, Korean Girl. So I hope that today you learn something about your rabbits, and actually taking care of rabbits is very enjoyable and I enjoy my rabbits company very often. Every time I look at them and I just lie down and think about them. Okay, I hope that you will actually take care of your rabbits properly and make sure that both you and your rabbits have a pleasant experience. Thank you very much for watching my video.